Welcome to the Fight Night Daily Podcast. This is the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. I'm Spencer Oliver, and I'm here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, for the big fight week. Itauma versus Dillian Whyte, and the brilliant undercard. I caught up on most of the fighters today. Let's hear what they had to say. Well, always a pleasure to be joined by Nick Ball. Nick, massive night again on Saturday night. Looking forward to it. You're becoming quite a regular out here in Saudi, aren't you?
Yeah, that's it. It's good to be back always. Yeah, it's where I won my world title, so it's special to me. So it's good to be back here.
Yeah, like you say, you got great memories here. Ray Ford, who's also boxing on the card as well in that great fight. He's probably chasing another fight with you.
Yeah,
You've got Sam Goodman on Saturday. Tell us a little bit about your opponent. He's unbeaten in 20. Moving up in weight, though. It's going to be a tough night for him for sure.
yeah, definitely. It's gonna be a tough night for him because I'm not willing to you know, let all this be up for grabs or for the taking. No, I've worked too hard for this, so yeah, it's gonna be a tough night for him. But he's gonna be coming. He's gonna be coming with everything in him, everything he's got. He's unbeaten. He's gonna want to keep that. He's gonna be going to come world champion. But yeah, it's not happening.
I go back to, I remember a fight that you was going into, 2023, I think it was Isaac Dogba when you was there. And then for me, that was like the coming of age fight for you, where I go, this kid's a real, like anyone, only your hardcore boxing fans would know who he was. But
Yeah.
I knew he was a serious fighter, former world champion as well. And you showed a lot of character in that fight. And for me, I think that was the moulding of Nick Ball to go on and become, the champion that you've become.
Yeah, definitely, because he's an solid opponent, isn't he?
Mm.
And you know, I feel like in that one as well, I showed me boxing. Me boxing just took me time and showed me boxing as well as me aggression. I can come forward and be all action. But in that one, really showed me boxing skills and got the job done in style. Yeah.
That's the thing in it. Like you got this nickname, the Wrecking Ball, and people know you for this aggressive approach that you've got. Only 5'2", as a featherweight's quite short, so you've got to get inside. There's a lot more to your game than that. The boxing IQ, actually, you can make those adaptations that are needed at this level.
Yeah, that's a sign of a true champion. In there, on the job, working it out on the job, on the night, whatever needs be to that opponent. So yeah, I feel like I'm good at that.
Obviously, for every fighter, it's always a dream to become a world champion. Now, another world champion going way back when was even sort of when I was boxing, someone that I used to look up to watch, Paul Hodgkinson, world featherweight champion as well. I think he held your belt, didn't he? Was it the WBA or
He was
WBC?
WBC, yeah.
WBC belt. So did you ever take anything from like local fighters like Paul and stuff like that?
100%. Yeah, I feel like he's a underestimated fighter. Yeah, and he's actually from where I'm from in Kirby. So yeah, what a guy he is.
Do you sort of ever get any information off him at all? Has he had anything to do with your career?
Yeah, when I've seen him, yeah, in conversation. My dad sometimes drinks with him, has a few had a few pints with him. Yeah, so yeah, they have a little chat, and then when I see him, yeah, just the general really. Yeah.
You like slipping in for a pint with him as well? Do you do that when you're out of training?
No, I don't drink me.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, you wouldn't be drinking definitely if you're out here. And you've been out here for some time now, haven't you? You like coming out here, right?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I've been out here since the 2nd of August.
Mm.
So just getting used to it and good to be back here really and spending time here.
Tell us a little about these experiences for people that will be watching this that don't know anything about Saudi, like the Mike Tyson gym. Like I went there for the first time last time I was here, and what a setup they've got there, by the way.
Setup's next level. That's what I've been saying. I love it there. Yeah. And the welcome that you get there is amazing off the people. So it's good to come and have a look. Yeah, 100%. People may be hesitant to come out here and see what it's like, but as time goes on, more and more, each time's getting better and better.
Yeah.
I feel so. It's good to come and experience.
What can we expect on Saturday night from you and Sam Goodman? What sort of performance, what sort of statement are you making to look here?
A big one, a big statement performance. Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm coming for.
And that question is going to lead me into my next question, because I go, you're going to need to make a statement with a certain guy in Noya Inui, the guy that's making all the noise at the moment, down at super bantamweight, 4-weight world champion, but looking to move up soon. I know your name's been mentioned a few times with him. How do you feel about that challenge?
Good. Everyone keeps mentioning it to me, so everyone must think that's the fight to make, and everyone must think I'm the man to beat him. Yeah, that's what they want to see. They know it's going to be all action when they're watching me, when they're watching him. So they want to put us both together. So it's been spoke about too much now for it not to happen. But the main thing is Saturday night, so fully focused on that, and then think about that afterwards.
Absolutely, and that's all you've always got to think about, just that fight and that fight only. You come through that on Saturday night. There's been rumours actually circulating that there could be a show out here on December the 27th. Noye and Nui being associated with that one. Would that be a possibility even? Like, if it was presented to you, do you think that could happen?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think I've seen it myself. It's like Japan against the rest of the world. What they're trying to do, I think so. That's an interesting one.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we've got a massive card there on Saturday night. How does Nick Ball steal the show?
Big performance coming, definitely.
Well, that's one thing we can guarantee.
Yeah.
Nick, I love you, mate, and I think you've done a great job so far. I'm looking forward to Saturday night.
Yeah,
Well done.
appreciate it.
Cheers, mate. Well done. Now, I've seen most of your career has been over in Australia, and this is a huge opportunity for you in a weight division you don't normally compete in.
Yeah, look, I have been, I've been in fights that have took place at featherweight before, and even heavier at lightweight in my career. So I don't think it's. Look, I think I'm the bigger body as well in there. I've seen him walking around. I think I'm going to be the bigger guy on fight night as well. But it's not something that I've thought about too much about the going up in weight. Everyone I work with is always heavier and bigger bodies. And look, it's just another challenge and about me executing on fight night.
It's a huge opportunity for you, and that's what Saudi Arabia brings right now to you fighters, isn't it? That opportunity, like you go, Nick Ball got his opportunity out here when winning that world title against Ray Ford. You get that similar sort of opportunity. How do you capitalise on that?
Look, it's by doing whatever it takes to win this fight and being smart, going through my processes and doing what I need to do to win. And that's where my head's firmly at. It's all about the job at hand and executing. Look where it is and where it's at. It's great. Like I said, it is great to be here in Riyadh, but that's not where my head's at. My head's at put us in the ring, ring the bell, and my hand gets raised.
So I've been watching you, and I've seen your style. You're very aggressive, come forward, high.
I don't reckon you've watched all of me. You said something about my head movement, and I'm like,
no.
Man, I'm going to show this guy.
I've been watching you, mate. I've been watching you, and you got a high punch output as well. As has Nick Ball, but he's proven at this sort of level, and this is now like you're going to start a big underdog going in as the smaller guy against the proven world champion.
Yeah, look, he's a fit fighter. He's a strong fighter, but I'm all those things as well. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to enter the ring on fight night the smaller guy. It's I think you'll see my size advantage, and look, I'm looking to impose myself on fight night. So, like, I'm a very fit fighter. I'm a very strong fighter, but mostly I'm a very smart fighter, and that's what I'm looking to show on fight night.
I'm glad that you've been doing your research. Actually, you must watch talkSPORT because you've seen some of the same we said. So, like I say, the fights that I've watched you in the past. And maybe you're going to go in there and prove me wrong. I say, yeah, he's got a high output. He comes forward, but he walks forward a little bit in straight lines, which plays into Nick Ball's hands. That's what I said. You've obviously seen those comments. So there's more to your game than that.
Absolutely. And look, I get a chance to prove myself right on fight night, and I look forward to doing so. And look, there's many strings to my bow and many ways I can approach this fight and many avenues to victory. So look, I'll take whatever I have to, whatever avenue that presents itself on fight night. I know I can pivot if I need to and do what I need to do to win this fight. So that's where my head's at. And look, I'm keen to show the world on fight night.
How did this opportunity come around? Because you have been campaigning in the super bantamweight division. You've racked up 20 good wins now, 8 of those inside the distance against, good opponents. You're developing really well. But how did this opportunity against Nick Ball come around?
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure. It was pretty recent after my last fight, and we got a phone call. Like, we were actually talking about it, me and one of my coaches the day before, that it looked like Nick Ball was going to fight Lewis Neary. Like, oh yeah, good fight. Like, we'll have our eye on it. And the next day we got a phone call saying, would you take the fight? And I said, absolutely. And like in the super bantamweight division, also it looked like I was going to get shut out a little bit after going through what I went through at the start of the year with the cuts, and it looked like I was on the outer. So the picture and the pathway, to get to a world title was almost unclear. I didn't know when my shot would get called or when it would pop up. So it was a no-brainer to take this.
looking through your record as well, you had a good win over TJ Donaghy, which is a very good win, a former IBF champion as well. And, he boxed Nick Ball in his last fight. He put up a good fight as well. So that gives you sort of yardsticks of where you're at. You feel like you're ready now for that leap into world stage.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys like TJ, I beat, Ray Salim, and another guy who was, former interim WBA world champion in a mandatory world title eliminator, sorry. And yeah, it was just fights like that. I know have put me in good stead, but more so the work I've done in the gym and the experience I've had traveling in and around gyms and being in with top level guys. And man, the work I've put in through my whole life in this sport, that's where my confidence comes from, and that's why I know I'll win this fight.
Australians are known for their tough all-outs, aggression and their style and just their general toughness.
Yeah.
Where has this surge from Australian boxing come from right now? Because you guys are doing quite well. You sort of put yourselves on the map.
Look, I don't know. It's a question I get asked a little bit about where, like, this sort of period for Aussie boxing, where it's come from. And I don't know, I might put it down to maybe a few more guys are working with each other a little bit more. I've sparred guys like Liam Paro and so you're working with everyone. You got to travel a lot in Australia as well, so to get good work. But like, yeah, everyone like the Maloney brothers, all these boys, all guys at the top level that we've worked with for years now. And yeah, it just might, I don't know. Then you got Jai Patai, who, man, like, no one's competing with him in Australia, like, especially in Australia. So worldwide, I don't think anyone gets near Jai. So it's I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's we're going through a good period, and look, I'm gonna put my name at the top of that tree as well.
I wanted to talk about Jai Patai. He's obviously cleaned up and he's the #1 in the cruiserweight division. And I think it's only a matter of time before he becomes undisputed. He told me that's where he wants to be before moving up to heavyweight. How far do you think he can go as a heavyweight?
Oh, Jai's got it all. Jai's an absolute freak. Has been since, I remember watching Jai, when he was qualifying for the Olympics when I was about 12 years old, and he would have been about 16 or 17, and man, he was a freak back then. So he's always been destined for great things. And look, I think he goes on with it, and if they fight him, I think he definitely does become undisputed world champ, no doubt.
You see, we've got Itauma versus Dillian Whyte on the card as well. Moses, there's a lot of hype around this kid coming through, the comparisons to a young Mike Tyson, etc., etc. Tough fight against Dillian Whyte, who's a proven campaigner. But what do you think of Moses?
Man, he's a very smart fighter. I think that's something like, yeah, he's got all the physical attributes as well. But, man, I'm very impressed with his boxing intelligence. And that's, I think, maybe one of the biggest things, especially in the heavyweight division, that might get slept on. Like, people obviously look at guys like Usyk and stuff, and he's leading the forefront in terms of, especially how smart that guy is, and how he operates. But I think Moses, man, he's catching up, and you want to get him now before it's too late, because I think he's going to rule the heavyweight division pretty soon.
Do you think it's a good fight for him taking on Dillian Whyte at this stage?
I think it is. I think it's Dillian's an old war horse. He's been in with the best, and he's beat a lot of the best as well. So it's a great test, great name, and man, it's a massive fight. So probably perfect.
Always a pleasure to be joined by David Adeleye. David, how are you, my friend?
Good, man. It's always a pleasure to be joined by you as well, man.
Yeah, you too, man. How's things?
Hey, can you get out of the camera?
Do you remember these?
Yeah, of course I do.
I just want to put this to bed, mate, because people thought I wore these when I was training with you in the gym.
Yeah.
People actually thought that these were my boots.
No, they're not, man. It was one of my coach's boots.
So the story behind it was these were the boots that Adam Booth wore when training David Haye for the Valuev fight for the WBA World Heavyweight title. Valuev was 7'2", and he wore these boots, and he thought it was a good idea for me to wear them. And do you know what? I've become quite accustomed to them, mate. I quite like them.
They're good, innit?
What do you reckon they look?
No, they look good, man. Now Spencer's about 5'5" with them boots on.
Wait, well, listen. I tell you what, mate. I tell you someone. He's looking good, and that's you. I tell you, when we was down in that gym, a day in the life with David Adeleye, it was absolutely wicked, right? And
Thank you, man.
You give us the access that we wanted, but taking you on the pads. I always knew, because I've known you since you was an amateur. As you know, I know you back in the day, watched your development and all that. Didn't know you hit that hard.
Yeah.
Spiteful, mate. Like on another level. Any heavyweight you hit is going to sleep on that.
100%. And I feel like as a heavyweight, you got to be a big banger, right? Because we're all big boys, and you got to give people something to respect. So yeah, having that sort of power is, I'm grateful, man. God gifted.
So I know you've been working on things with Adam Booth.
Yeah.
The Jamie TK fight, things didn't come off, did they?
Yeah.
Like you was working, maybe over trying at times.
yeah.
Things were like it would start becoming a very messy, ugly sort of fight.
Yeah.
Have you had long enough together now to put those things right? And will we see these on Saturday night?
Yeah, 110%. And I think another reason was for that Jamie fight. He was like it was making the fight boring by the holding and all of these other things. I don't think I'll get that with Hrgovic on Saturday. So I think people will get to see the real me.
Here's the thing for this, right? This is about the opportunity that you get off them, yeah? You had that win against Jamie TKV. The rematch looked like it was going to happen.
Yep.
Now, this fight has come up against Filip Hrgovic, who's number 2 in the WBO.
Yep.
Number 1, Moses Itauma.
Yep.
If he comes through against Dillian Whyte, and you come through this fight against Hrgovic, and Alexander Usyk does what we think he's going to do and vacates that WBO title, your next fight could be for a WBO world title.
Yeah.
How mad is that?
Good, man. You know how the stars align, right? Just leave that to God and whatnot and the promoters, and I just do what I do. I just got to keep winning, staying in the gym and staying focused, and these fights will be there.
So you've always been known to be spiteful, heavy-handed, and all of that. What have you been working on with Adam Booth that we're going to see on Saturday? I know you don't want to give too much away in this interview, obviously, but you've been working more on your boxing IQ and about like setting up those attacks, setting the traps, etc., instead of just focusing on blasting them out.
Yeah, exactly, and focusing on being a better fighter, all round. I feel like boxing. I think a lot of these heavyweights think that it's just brute strength that gets you through them fights, and it isn't. You know, sometimes you got to be smart as well to get yourself through them. Usyk being an example. So I think on Saturday night I just get to show everyone my IQ, show everyone my attributes, my speed, power, and yeah.
It's probably fair to say you're going in as an underdog here against a former Olympic bronze medalist, a guy that has competed at that top level, amateur and pro. I know he lost to that Daniel Dubois fight in 8 rounds, but he showed a lot of heart there, mate, and it also showed that he can take a shot.
Yeah.
So you get up there and you find that he takes your shot, then you got to have a little bit more to your game.
Simple, exactly that. You know, it's funny you said that as well because, you know, as a heavyweight, yeah, you can hit hard, but you know they say some people, not everyone's can get knocked out or whatnot. You're not hitting with a big shot and you might take it, and you just got to keep hitting with that shot, you know, throughout the night. But regardless, I'm tuned in, I'm tunnel vision, and I'm strong-minded, so.
It's fair to say you've done your apprenticeship now. You know, go back to the Fabio Wardley fight, you know, where you had that and you had to come back, rebuild, and you're doing that with Adam Booth now. But this is very much your time, innit?
110% is my time. You know, I'm young and I'm ready and I'm hungry. I think once I've beaten Hrgovic, I get to show everyone the sort of fighter I really am and where I want to be in the division, and go from there. He's an avoided heavyweight, so you know a lot of fighters will sit there and say that they're willing to take all of these fights, but are they really? You know, when these fights are presented to them, do they really take it? You got me here that's willing to take it. You know, I do these things. I believe in myself.
What do you think about the top of the bill here, Moses Itauma, Dillian Whyte? Again, that's a calculated gamble, like because we don't know where Moses is at.
Yep.
But Dillian Whyte looks like he's in shape here, man. Like I said it I've done an interview with him earlier, and I was like, boy, that's the smallest I've seen him for a long time. He's stripped down, mate.
Yeah.
I heard his abs are popping out as well.
Oh, fair play. You know, I saw him as well, but he does look in good nick. You know, it's a good fight, and like you said, I think it's the young dog against the old dog. Experience against youth. Frank Warren knows what he's doing though when he does matchmaking.
There's a lot of that going on right now, isn't there? Like this opportunity for the young dogs coming through and the old wolves maybe in the twilight of their career. You're seeing that change over the times here.
No, yeah, you can't always look at things like that though, because you're being for a big shock. I think it's a good fight. I know you're gonna ask me who's gonna win. I genuinely don't know because I haven't been focused on it. You know, but obviously, look, if you ask me for my opinion, I'd say Itauma early or Dillian late.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight in it. The heavyweight scene right now. Do we think Fury's gonna come back?
Yeah, you will. 2026, I see him fighting AJ.
Where you see that fight with AJ?
Yeah, I see that fight happening.
Where do you think AJ goes next? He's gonna need another fight this year.
Yeah, I think they're obviously talking about him fighting certain fighters at the end of the year.
Jake Paul?
Look, that's good for his bank account, but I mean that's about it, right?
Tony Yoka?
Good fight for him. Don't know much about Yoka, but yeah, good fight for him.
Yeah, listen, would you fight Jake Paul for a payday?
Yeah, that's why I can't be too mad on AJ doing it. But I know Jake Paul, so I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna rip into him. But
I don't think.
Listen,
give
at
you
the
a
end
call,
of the
mate.
day, no.
Not with not with him, mate. I don't think you get the call, mate.
Nah, I ain't getting out cool. No, I know I'm not. But yeah, look, you can't be mad at AJ if he will takes the fight for the shilling, man. But yeah, does it need to happen? No, it doesn't need to. I think I like to see AJ vs Tyson.
Just give me your prediction for Saturday night. How do you win? You
Adeleye
still the
win.
show?
Adeleye winner, still the show. Whether it comes early, whether it comes late, Adelaide winning.
You want me to keep these on for the show?
Telling you, boy, I'm
Keep them for the fight.
yeah.
For the interview afterwards.
Giving that motivation, exactly that.
There you go, mate. The boots are staying on.
That's it, man.
Maybe best of luck.
I'll see you as well. There's much to drip. You know what I'm saying? Look. I'll see you soon, yeah,
mate.
Take it easy, man.
Well, Dillian Whyte, great to see you out here in Saudi, mate. How's things?
Things is good, man. Things is good. Saudi people is good. Been here before. Used to the lifestyle and the culture. So, yeah, it's chilled.
You look in great shape, mate. Like the best I've seen you for some time.
Yeah, trying, mate. Trying.
Well, look, we're at that stage of your career. This is a huge opportunity because WBO #1 ranking on the line. You know, with what's going on at the moment with Alexander Usyk, that title might become vacant. So, huge opportunity.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was for that, bro. I've just been focusing on training and the fight, you know. I didn't even know there's still lots of details about the fight. I didn't know. I just could accept the fight and just been training for the fight and focusing and laying low.
That's what it is with a heavyweight division right now, Dillian, isn't it? Like you are one win away from huge opportunity, like with what's going on in the landscape of the heavyweights.
Yeah, you always, you know, people want to see good heavyweight fights. People want to be entertained. You know, the dynamics of boxing change a little bit. It's a lot about entertainment. They want to see good fights, good build up, good characters, and people who comes to fight. So yeah, you're always one win away from getting a call for something big. You know, I mean, obviously the win before this wasn't a great win. It was a good win for me. It wasn't a great win because obviously, but that win also set me up for this fight. Because if I did good and blow Tete away, I was in great shape, then I wouldn't have got this fight. So yeah.
Mosesitauma, young kid, 20 years of age, you know, only 12 fights in. It's a calculated gamble from their side. They must feel the timing's right to take on someone like you who's been a world-class operator for some years now.
Listen, in their eyes, is a killer, is God, I'm nothing. I'm just cannon fodder, so yeah.
You've been face-to-face with Moses just recently. You know this game inside out and you know about fight weeks and you know the way that people are. What did you see in him?
Nothing. I didn't really focus on that. I just focused on just doing my job, and that's it. We spoke, said whatever we're gonna say, and that's it. I don't really you know, it's hard to really focus a lot on focus on this and focus on that, and try and pick up because people sometimes can be misleading in their persona and their body language and what they say and who they are. You know what I'm saying? People can act nervous or act scared when they're not. People can throw you off with. So I don't really focus on that. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of talk about this kid being the next heavyweight superstar. You know, he's been blowing everyone away. You know, what do you make? Just how good do you think he is?
You guys are the expert. You guys say how good he is, and you guys are the expert. I leave that up to you guys. You know.
You're now 37 years of age. How mad is this, right, Dil? I was looking through some of your records and that. You turned pro in 2011. You know, he was 6 years of age then when you turned pro. When you boxed AJ for the British and Commonwealth titles at the O2, he was only a 10-year-old kid then. Like, to think that he would now be boxing you is quite crazy, right?
No, that's real boxing. It's not crazy. Listen, you're a boxer. You know how this thing goes. That's real boxing. That's you know, sometimes as a fighter, I know these guys tell you the question to us. As a fighter, you know these things go. So that's sometimes when these guys say certain things, and then I'm like, Spence, you're a fighter. You should have a different and a better, more neutral opinion because you're a fighter. You know the game goes. You know, it doesn't matter of someone's age, their experience, whatever. It's just fighting, bro. You know, you've been in there and the good and the very bad end of the game.
The facts are the facts that if you're good enough, you're good enough. You know, like it doesn't matter about
Exactly.
that. It doesn't matter about that age, but it is about timing for sure. Like I say, and like this is a huge step up for him. Like, you know, where
Really?
like it's a what for absolutely. For Moses Itauma, this is a huge step up.
I don't think so. Everyone's according to you and your other colleague and the other professional people is nothing. It's a walk in the park for Moses. You know, some people say I get blow in 1 or 2 rounds. You know, that's you guys are the professional. You're the real champion. I'm nothing. So I think it's a step up for to be honest.
So, what's your thoughts on that when people are saying that? Like you as a fighter, you feed off that because I know you don't take things personally. By the way, I know you're one of those guys that just gets on and what people say doesn't really matter to you. But do you feed off that sort of stuff?
No, I feed off food, man.
You don't. To be fair, you don't look like you've been eating a lot recently, mate.
Exactly. But no, I don't really feed off those things, man. Listen, when you're someone who come from where I've come from, and who's been through what I've been through, and overcome what I've had to overcome, opinions don't really matter anymore, bro. You know, opinions don't matter. Listen, what did I get here? Did I win any ABA title? Did I go to the Olympics? Did I have any backing? Did I have any TV station? Did I have any strategic plan to get to world level? No, I got to world level because I took risks. I'm beating guys that was at world level when I was a nobody. You know what I mean? You used to see me go up to Finch and spar with Derek and other guys that was up there. You understand? And that's what I got here. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, listen, looking back in your debut, like you say, like your debut, you're going back and you're boxing at places like Camden Town, you're boxing on small hall shows, no TV.
Yeah.
That is hard work and dedication.
Selling tickets 2 hours before I'm due to box to make enough money to pay the house fees. You understand? You know, I need like 1,200 quid and I'm 1,120 quid down. I'm trying to hustle the last few tickets. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I mean, do you feel that this is like at this stage of your career is a must-win fight for you?
My whole career has been like that, so it's nothing new. You know, like I said, I come from nothing with no name, no amateur pedigree, no credibility. So my whole career, unfortunately, has always been like this. You know what I mean? You know, think of one fight that I've had that I've been favoriting. I've been favorite or they've
like
been
that
must
position?
win.
Do you like that position though? Because some fighters like that. Some fighters feed off that.
I haven't got a choice because I don't know what the next position feel like. I haven't got a choice, you know. If when I was with Matchroom, they get the DAZN deal. No one didn't give me no. Everybody got the DAZN contract apart from me. Everybody had their plan about rehabilitating their career, and I come back from these losses by myself, fought in crazy places around the world, and believe myself and back myself. You know what I mean? No one said, "Oh, don't worry, we're gonna bring you back, or we're gonna do this." No, bro.
How hard is that to come back from them losses? Like you say, you put yourself in great positions, WBC interim champion, waiting for that world title shot for so long, you know, losing to Povetkin and all that. How difficult deal is that to come back?
It's hard, but that's all I know, man. I know to be stubborn and never give up and don't watch what people say and just keep pressing and keep pushing forward and just be stubborn. My mom is still a stubborn kid, but it's starting to pay dividends now at this stage of my life.
What do you think about the heavyweight landscape right now? The guys that you know you've been boxing with, AJ, like I say, back in 2015, you're all now at that stage of your career. You're all like 36, 37, 38, Tyson Fury, yourself. There's a changing of the times. Do you think that Moses Itauma could be the next heavyweight star?
We have to wait and see. We have to wait and see, man. You know, heavyweight boxing is something, it's like nothing. It's like nothing else in the world. Heavyweight boxing is crazy. We've seen it time and time again. It's unpredictable. So I don't know, you know. You guys are the professional and the experts, so you guys make the decision. That my opinion doesn't matter. What I say doesn't matter. My opinion don't carry no weight. You know what I mean?
But what does matter, though, is how you perform in the ring.
That's it. So that's what I try and focus on, is that.
What's your thoughts on boxing out here in Saudi? Like, it's the first time you boxed out here, right?
No, not the first time.
Right. So what's your thoughts on boxing out here in Saudi?
I think it's great because Turkey is making fight happen. They're putting people in position to make this fight happen. Guys, and the demographic of boxing is changing. First, it was all about being undefeated. Now it's about being involved in good fights and taking risks and testing yourself against the best. So I couldn't have been more grateful. And the fact that he's involved in boxing and making these things happen, you know what I mean? And changing the demographic. Because before it was all about build to this, build to that, don't take no risks. He doesn't fight him. And there's many fights I wanted to see, that we never got to see, or we probably never get to see. You understand?
Talk to me just finally about your training camp. It's been out in Portugal. Buddy McGirt. Buddy said that actually he hadn't been watching any tapes of Moses at all. You've been working on your own sort of stuff. Did you watch any tapes, by the way?
I seen Moses fight. I know what he's like. I've seen him fight. You know, obviously. I'd be lying if I said I never seen him fight. I seen him fight. You know, I seen him fight. I was watching him fight live. I watched him and his brother fight live, and I've seen him fight on TV because I'm a boxing fan. I like to watch the boxing support the boxing. So yeah.
And how's that training camp gone?
Training camp's going good. It's going good. You know, it's very good. You know, I was already in shape before the guys got there, so I spent more time working and things instead of spending time getting in shape. And you know what it's like sometimes in camp where you spend a lot of time getting into shape and not so much time working and things, you know? See?
Well, listen, mate, I've got to say you look in fantastic shape, and I'm looking forward to Saturday night, and thanks for the time, Dillian.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah,
God
thank
bless.
you, mate.
Cheers,
Thank you.
cheers, Thank you.
Talking about winning, who's going to win this weekend in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia? A huge fight coming up there. Moses Itauma gets his biggest chance yet to show what he can do. He's up against Dillian Whyte, and it is live on talkSPORT.
A lot of people are basically just saying, like, yeah, I'm going to knock him out.
Moses Itauma can take him out right now.
And, like, I probably would.
Everyone tells me that he is the future.
This kid is going to be the next face of British boxing.
I've said this from the beginning, from when he was 18, 19. He's it. He is it.
Moses Itauma!
I keep proving people wrong, and it's kind of weird. I'm going to have to prove them right this time.
Continue. Moses Itauma
Ready to dust up and have it.
This fight here, make or break.
Let's go! I'm ready!
Wow, it's a big fight. Is Moses ready for what lies ahead? It's a huge challenge against the hugely experienced Dillian Whyte. Itauma's record stands at 12-0, and his last win was a knockout of Mike Balogun, knocking him out in round 2. Spencer Oliver knows what to expect, and Spencer is out there with a big talkSPORT team as we look ahead to what is a very interesting undercard as well. Filip Hrgovic up against David Adeleye. We have Nick Ball against Sam Goodman, and top of the bill, Moses Itauma against Dillian Whyte. Spencer, good afternoon to you. It's hot here, 30-odd degrees in London. God only knows what it's like in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, but presumably the temperature is rising with the expectation here that Moses Itauma is going to win on the biggest stage yet.
Absolutely, yeah, the temperature out here is absolutely insane. It was about 40 degrees about 10 o'clock this morning. But yeah, big things expected of Moses Itauma. It's a real coming-of-age fight for him against the old warrior in Dillian Whyte. I saw Dillian Whyte just a couple of minutes ago, actually. He looks in great shape. He recognises that this is last chance saloon and a great opportunity to grab that WBO #1 spot, and that will put him back in line for a world title. But Moses Itauma, you know, if you look at his last 8 fights, they've only gone 11 rounds in total. This guy is going through everyone like a hot knife through butter. And if he makes a statement here and wins against Dillian Whyte, that is a real statement.
Spencer, as you wait, I think Moses Itauma is due to drop by you any moment now. Simon has dropped by me and has been with me since 10 o'clock this morning. Simon, what do you think? Is it Itauma for you? Is he going to come out on top in this one?
Yeah, I think he will. Not because ultimately it's a foregone conclusion, but because I think it's at a stage in his career where the levels are being pushed. You know, he's beaten Marius Weck, who's a 45-year-old fighter of a high level, but knocked him out relatively easy. He knocked out Dempsey McKean. He knocked out Mike Balogun in the previous fight. It's a whole different ball game. But the fact of the matter, we don't really know where Dillian is in his career anymore. The Dillian Whyte that existed 2, 3, 4 years ago, that was challenging for world titles, went out like a lamb against Tyson Fury, but notwithstanding that Tyson Fury is an elite fighter, is probably not the Dillian Whyte that's going into the ring now. So I don't know how much we learn about Moses. So Frank was on the show last week talking about how he would like this fight to go deep so that we can see various questions being asked and answered of Moses Itauma. I mean, Dillian is a former elite fighter. We're going to see if he's still an elite fighter, but we're also going to learn a little bit more about Moses, because if Moses goes in there and blasts him out in 2 or 3 rounds, I don't know what we make of it, but what we want to see is Dillian put it upon Moses and see what the reaction is, because no one has done it, have they, Spence? No one has troubled this kid.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, Dillian Whyte is that guy that should be one that gives him, you know, his most difficult night, for sure. I mean, like I said to you, he looks in tremendous shape. And as I'm speaking now, Moses Itauma has just joined us, so I'll bring him in on this one, guys. Moses, great seeing you, mate. And Simon was just saying about, you know, Dillian Whyte being a step up in class for sure, but what will we find out if you go out there and get the job inside the distance?
Assalamu alaikum.
Very good, Moses.
I think it's a good fight for me. Personally, obviously, I've heard all the talks that's coming with this fight. I'm just trying to lock it out and kind of do my job. Dillian Whyte is obviously a serious contender. I don't know what kind of game he's playing outside the ring, but I know that he's lost a lot of weight. He's taking his fight serious, and he's coming to obviously trying to ruin the party. So it's obviously my job to let that not happen.
Moses, hi to you from me, Jim White in London, and Simon's alongside me. So too is Martin O'Neill. I remember a long time ago, it seems, you and I spoke. Actually, it was in Riyadh. Do you remember we met up in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia? And you were telling me, yeah, the big occasions I hope will come along. And when they come along, I will take my chance. Do you feel thoroughly confident that you will take your chance live on talkSPORT against Dillian this time around?
I mean, yeah. Like, my brother messaged me the other day, this might have even been yesterday. He was like, although, like, this feels like it's come sudden, like, because obviously I only turned professional 2 years ago. I've been boxing since I was 9 years old. Like, this is a thing that I've been doing, like, this is 11 years in the making. So, like, although, like, everybody is saying that this is sudden, like, this isn't sudden for me.
Moses, one of the things
Moses, I wanted to ask.
You want to go, Spence, or shall I?
On you go, Simon.
No,
On you go, Simon.
Simon, please.
One of the things I spoke to Frank about last week was the difference in things that you have to do this week, Moses. You're headlining, and it's a new experience for you. You've got face-offs that are being done differently. You've got press conferences that are coming up. Does any of this weigh on your mind? Does any of this make any difference to you now that you are you're the main name above the door?
Of course it makes a difference, because it kind of does drain my energy a little bit. But I know that obviously with boxing, you got a sport and you got the entertainment, and obviously it works hand in hand. But it's just a problem. The only problem is just trying to not let that get to my head.
Is there any jeopardy? I mean, I've not noticed any noise being said from... I mean, Dillian called you Superman the other day and said, I'm going in with somebody that's Superman. Is there any edge to this fight from your side? Is there any jeopardy in terms of any malice towards Dillian? Or is it just a case of, he's in my way, I need to go and continue making points? So is there any more to this fight than just the fact that he's in your way?
No, 100%. You've just said it there. He's kind of there's no hatred towards Dillian Whyte. Last time we spoke was against when we sat next to each other on the Joe Joyce Hergovich fight, and we was having a normal conversation. And just funnily enough, like 2 weeks later, I got a phone call asking me if I wanted to fight him. So, and I said yeah. It was like it's not nothing kind of disrespectful to Dillian or nothing. Like, I think he's a cool guy, but.
He's in your way.
Like you said, he's in my way.
Spence.
And with.
Yes. Spence, we spoke last week again about the real pathway for Moses. Do you get the impression that if he beats Dillian Whyte, which he will obviously think he's going to, and does it in such a compelling way, that he really is now in the box seat for potentially fighting Joseph Parker for a world title in December?
Absolutely, it's all mapped out like that. Look, guys, what we've got to say is, look, and I know that Moses is sat here next to me, but, you know, we've been saying this for some time now, like a lot of people are saying that Moses, you know, is the next superstar for me in British boxing, not just heavyweight boxing, but British boxing. And fights like this, you go, look, Moses has been preparing for this. This is the 4th time he's boxed out here in Riyadh on these big cards. Now he's topping the bill. But good fighters, you know, exceptional fighters, they feed off that pressure and they perform at a higher level, and that's what I'm expecting from Moses, this young fighter who's, you know, coming through at a rapid pace, only 2 years as a professional, WBO ranked #1. That is a lot of pressure on the 20-year-old shoulders. But though, you know, like I said before, you know, people, good fighters, great fighters, they feed off that, and that's what I'm expecting from you, Moses.
Shukran, Spencer. Like it's been different. Like this whole fight week, even like coming out of the airport and I'm seeing my face on the car. I'm thinking, what is going on? Like I'm a son of two immigrants going to Kenya. Like in what world was I supposed to be, a 20-year-old being this big thing? So all I've got to do is be grateful that this is happening to me, and just kind of following the journey through.
Have you studied Dillian? Have you studied Dillian Whyte, Moses? Have you watched any of his fights?
Of course.
Right. Well, did you hear the other day that Buddy McGirt said that Dillian Whyte and he don't watch your fights and are not interested in the opposition? What did you make of Buddy McGirt saying we don't watch him, we don't worry about that?
No, but I can understand Buddy McGirt saying it. Dillian Whyte is probably not telling the truth there. Otherwise, how would you know that I'm Superman, I'm doing well, I'm knocking all these guys out? Buddy McGirt, however, the only reason why I feel like he's comfortable with saying that and doing that is because it's not him in the ring taking the punches. So he can just say, yeah, we don't study Moses Itauma. The same way that the people are saying like, but his chin hasn't been tested and his this. It's easy for people just to say that, like outside the ring, people that don't get their chin tested and they ain't been obviously got the dog brought out of them. So like, I'm not going to pay attention to what Buddy McGirt is saying or what all these other people are saying, because at the end of the day, like, you don't get paid for overtime. If you can knock a guy out in the first round, then why not?
Excellent. Moses, thank you very much indeed. Moses Itauma. And thanks to you, Spence, for managing to manoeuvre there and get Moses to join us live in the show. Moses goes in against Dillian Whyte this Saturday night. Is live on talkSPORT, coming live from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Well, that was most of the fighters, and tomorrow we catch up with more at the Grand Arrivals. This is the Fight Night Daily podcast. Until then, we will see you later.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.